Okay, so we have the gentleman who is the head of Los Illuminatos, or the Illuminati, and this is Ignatius Loyola. He is basically a psycho with a license to do whatever he wants, and he creates the Los Illuminatos, or the Illuminated Ones, the Jesuits, or the Society of Jesus. And you wonder why the Christians have such a bad name with people like that working behind the scene. That's where you get the concept of a wolf in sheep's clothing. For example, Ignatius Loyola, as I was mentioning, taught his disciples and the students of the Los Illuminatos that they could lie as long as they had some contention about what was being said. So let's say you asked me a question and you said something that I had a contention or I had a difference with you about. It was okay then for me to lie to you. That's the gist of what this society taught. So you've got this corruption in the church. You've got the re-entry of a man to Mascaria, which is clearly shown in the church art around the 700s. From 700 to 800, they rode throughout the land and wiped out all the images, so you're not going to see very many images of psilocybin, which is the sacrament that Jesus offered at the Last Supper. And how do I know that? Well, ask yourself this. If Jesus was the Son of God, the unique Son of God, and did everything in a godly fashion and never lied and never sinned, then explain this. How is it that he could say at the Last Supper, I will not eat of or partake of the fruit of this vine, the fruit being any mixture of the vine, which the implication is the grape, until I take it anew with you in the kingdom of heaven. So he says, I will not eat of the fruit of this vine again until I eat it anew with you in the kingdom of heaven. Then there he is, he's up on the cross, and they push up to him a wine-filled sponge with myrrh in it, and he refuses that because myrrh was a known narcotic and he didn't want to have a narcotic in his system as he went through his last moments of life. But then they offer him a sponge with vinegar wine in it, and he accepts this. So if he accepts wine vinegar, which is the fruit of the vine, then the Last Supper's drink, his blood, could not have been from grapes. He was talking about the crushed pulp of psilocybin, the juice of psilocybin. And that's not really a new thing for the ancient societies. All throughout histories, people have crushed these mushrooms to make a juice. And why is that? Well, you can eat 10, 20 mushrooms, maybe. But if you crush 50 mushrooms, you get a glass of juice about this big. So now you can take the equivocal of 40 or 50 mushrooms in a juice in a glass. So you can get quite a bit more bang for your buck, if you will, than you could if you were just to eat the fruit. Okay, so that's our Lord, the Lord, and the sacred mushroom. And we're going to look at some of the art which the early Christians did leave behind in the Bibles and in various catacombs and areas where they weren't destroyed. And you can kind of see for yourself that at least some Christians did eat psilocybin mushrooms. And did they all? Is that what Jesus taught? Well, I sure think so, because well, let me just read you something. This is a testimony, and you can test it out and see if I'm saying something you can identify with. It's entitled Entheogens, which is a class I'd like to start and teach. Psychedelics, Religion, Politics, and History. I am 34 years old, and in my life I have found no subject that is more rewarding than the study of the history and nature of psychedelics. Indeed, psychedelics, and specifically psilocybin, have been likened unto the sun, while all other fields of interest are comparatively like candles. No other tool holds such promise for human potential, growth, and understanding. as I will demonstrate, psilocybin is the master key which unlocks the door of our collective past and our shared future. It is the sacred fountain of purity and renewal that all of us who dream of a better world are seeking. This living water holds the key to love and compassion, wisdom and gratitude. In short, it is the rock that comes out of the darkness in the book of Daniel and destroys the inhuman dictatorships of global empire. That is the prophecy which is to come. Okay, let's take a look at the evidence.